Ranking the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL going into the 2025 season. I don't know about these guys, but my rankings are how I see these guys as of right now, taking into account both past production and future production. So a few wide receivers who just missed the cut for me. Terry McLaurin. If you look at Terry McLaurin's Football Reference, he's one of the most consistent receivers in the NFL. His first year, he had 900 yards, and then basically after that, it's all 1,000-yard seasons. And speaking of a guy who always has 1,000-yard seasons, Mike Evans. He is not in my top 5, but again, super consistent as they come, guaranteed 1,000-yard receiver basically for his entire career, a future first ballot Hall of Famer. Mike Evans deserves to be mentioned. Brian Thomas Jr., not in my top 5. However, really great rookie season. If he does it again in his second year, Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be knocking on the door of that top 5. Another guy who had a great rookie season, Malik Neighbors, especially with subpar quarterback play, had a great rookie season, but again, only 1 year, so I can't quite put him in my top 5. Nico Collins is someone who is going to sneak into people's top 5s after this year, I think, because if he stays healthy with CJ Stroud, they formed a great connection. I think we could see Nico Collins have a big year. And a guy who might be controversial, he's a little bit out of my top 5, Puka Nacua, 2 great years to start off his career. But I have these 5 receivers ahead of him. At number 5, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Again, you want to talk about consistency, over 100 catches, over 1,000 yards, 6 to 12 touchdowns each of the last 3 years, 3 Pro Bowls and 2 All-Pros in those 3 seasons. Amon-Ra St. Brown is basically the maybe the most consistent player on one of the best offenses in the NFL the last 3 years. So I got Amon-Ra St. Brown, regardless if people think he's a slot merchant or not. I got him in my top 5 as far as receivers go. Number 4, I got Ceedee Lamb. That might be a little bit low for some people on Ceedee Lamb, but I got Ceedee Lamb at number 4. Ceedee, he's obviously a great receiver. You see the numbers he's put up. He's been great basically since he got in as a rookie. First team All-Pro in 2023. He had a great year. Last year he was a little bit down just because Dak got hurt. But again, Ceedee Lamb, one of the 5 best receivers in the NFL, no doubt. He's at my number 4 position. At number 3, this is a guy who I think if he was in a more pass-happy offense, we would be talking about him as one of the best receivers in the NFL, which I believe he is. I got A.J. Brown as my 3rd best receiver in the NFL. You see him when he gets one-on-one matchups. This guy absolutely dominates when he gets one-on-one matchups and when he gets the opportunity. The problem is there's so many other weapons on that Eagles offense, and they run the ball so much that he doesn't get nearly as much opportunity as some of these other guys do. So he doesn't have as big in numbers. But when he gets the opportunity and when he stays on the football field, I think A.J. Brown is one of the 3 best receivers in the NFL. And number 2, again, it might be controversial coming off of last year, I have Jamar Chase as my number 2 receiver in the NFL. I think he benefits because he has the better quarterback as opposed to the guy who I'm about to mention at number 1. He benefits because of that. But again, you can't deny Jamar Chase is one of the 2 best receivers in the NFL, especially after winning the Triple Crown last year in the NFL as far as receivers go, leading the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. But my number 1 receiver might have had the best 5-year start to a career of any receiver in NFL history. It's Justin Jefferson. I got Justin Jefferson as my number 1 receiver in the NFL. Probably the best route runner in the NFL with his size, with his speed. And then again, you don't have the elite quarterback play that Jamar Chase has. So I got Justin Jefferson as my number 1 receiver in the NFL. So my list, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 5, Ceedee Lamb at 4, A.J. Brown at 3, Jamar Chase at 2, and Justin Jefferson at 1. But I want to kick it. Actually, I don't want to kick it, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to kick it to Sammy to hear his stupid top 5 list and for him to give his thoughts on my amazing top 5 list.
First of all, it's not stupid. We've already discussed. It's a very smart, very thoughtful, very gritty top 5 that we're talking about here. No, yeah.
Have dogs in your top 5, huh?
Yeah, I have absolute dogs. Okay, look, number 5 is going to be actually a hot take off of that. I have Ceedee Lamb at number 5. I know a lot lower than a lot of people might think. Ceedee Lamb is coming off a couple games where he was hurt, but he also had a couple of games where the effort really wasn't there. Now, granted, he was working with bums at quarterback, and he still had 1,100 receiving yards and 101 catches and 6 touchdowns. So he's still an absolute stud. Just the year before that, he had 135 catches for 1,700 receiving yards. So I am not worried one bit about Ceedee Lamb. I think now that Dak Prescott is back, we're going to be discussing him as amongst the top receivers in the NFL more and more. Next, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I mean, what a story. He's been Mr. Consistent, and I think that deserves a lot of praise. This year actually had a down year compared to what he was last year. This year, 115 catches, 1,200 yards. But that offense, we all know that offense was electric. And then the year before that, 119 catches, 1,500 yards. One of the more reliable pass catchers. You'll never see him drop too many passes. A crisp route runner as well. consistency to me in the NFL is so important when it comes to the wide receiver room. If you're not reliable with your hands, with your route running, you're not reliable at all. So I think Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's been reliable, so I'm going to give him the net edge slightly over Ceedee Lamb. Next, I have Mr. A.J. Brown. Now, look, he's already one of the all-time great receivers in Titans history. He comes to Philly and becomes one of their all-time great receivers. A.J. Brown, I believe, I think he is the best of all the 5 pass catchers in this top 5. I think he is one of those that you rely for a jump ball the most, in my opinion. That's how I think of A.J. Brown. I also think he's not a bad route runner. And he's also very, very passionate about when he feels like he's not being productive. Some would call that a diva. When you're that good, I just say you care a lot. So I think A.J. Brown is top 3. Next, we got number 2. To no surprise, the Triple Crown winner, Ja'Marr Chase. I think the thing about Ja'Marr Chase that stands out is after the catch. After the catch, I don't think there's a better receiver. I would have argued Tyreek Hill a couple of years ago, but he's busy doing other stuff. So I think that Ja'Marr Chase, the best yard after catch receiver in the entire NFL. On top of that, his routes are fantastic. It helps, you're catching passes from a top 5 QB. It definitely helps. But the yards after catch kind of prove that doesn't really matter. It could be a screen. It could be a slant. And he's taking that son of a gun to the house. But number 1, Justin Jefferson. It's not close in my opinion. That's how I feel about Justin Jefferson. Wow. I think Justin Jefferson, hands down, the best route runner. I think after the catch, he's electrifying. I think he can go up and get it as well. His first 5 years are some of the best we've seen in NFL history. So yep. I think, in my opinion, Kirk Cousins, not elite. Sam Darnold, not elite. Nick Mullins, he's catching passes from Nick freaking Mullins. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm stuttering getting these words out because it's that egregious. And he still is elite every single time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a shame that he plays for the Minnesota Vikings. I hope J.J. McCarthy can finally be a difference. Finally, but who knows? But regardless, Jay Jettas is the number 1 receiver in the NFL, and I don't think it's close.
You want to talk about egregious? What, Nick Mullins isn't in your S tier of quarterbacks? Goodness gracious. What type of program are we running here that Nick Mullins is an elite quarterback?
He's actually into the supreme tier, actually. So
there it is. He's above S. He's in his own. He's in gold.
Double tier. S, actually.
God-like, if you will.
Double S.
Good Lord. Yeah. All right. Let's.
To your point, Jefferson he's a different beast, man. I don't know what it is with the Vikings and not surrounding their elite wide receivers with elite talent around them, and elite quarterbacks around them, but they need to figure that out because they had Randy Moss and Chris Carter there and couldn't figure out quarterback even when they were there too. So figure out your quarterback, Minnesota Vikings. But I'm going to kick it to Joe, and I'm pretty nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty nervous about what Joe's list is going to be because he's been down there with that stupid grin on his face that I'm very nervous to see what he has to say. So Joe, give us your I'm very nervous about top 5 wide receivers in the NFL.
It's funny. I don't have Ceedee Lamb in my top 5.
Wow.
I don't have A.J. Brown in my top 5.
Wow.
I have them as 6 and 7.
Okay.
I do have them as 6 and 7.
This is the kind of stuff that pisses me off, bro. It's like, what the heck? Who in the hell could you have? Who?
You got Josh Downs, guarantee it. Josh Downs in the top 5.
I better not.
My
see
entire
Cooper Kupp
top 5 is nothing but slot wide receivers. Surprise. No, but I like Ceedee Lamb. I have a little bias. The Cowboys never seem to have it together. And even when Dak is healthy, Ceedee Lamb doesn't seem to, he's too hit or miss to me. He did have a good year. Even without Dak, still put up 1,100 yards as the primary option in a team that just wasn't very good. I really liked Brian Thomas's year. I had 6 guys written down here. Brian Thomas is my 6th for just a special mention because of how good his year was and the team that we literally make fun of Trevor Lawrence all the time because he was touted as a generational talent and he just hasn't shown up to it. But as far as Brian Thomas Jr. is concerned, he did everything he needed to, and that man absolutely balled out in his first year. And a lot of people didn't see that coming. A lot of people didn't think Brian Thomas Jr. was going to have the year he had. And realistically, he was the LSU wide receiver that we were all talking about because even though Malik Neighbors had a good year, Brian Thomas' year was one of the best we've seen from a rookie wide receiver recently, right? I actually really liked two guys that you had talked about, Matt, and one might be sneaky here. I like Drake London as my number 5.
Wow.
Hear me out. Drake London had a very good year for an Atlanta Falcons team as their number 1 wide receiver. Okay, he was 4th in yards, 8th in touchdowns. He was 10th in contested catch percentage and 3rd in first downs, while also quietly having almost, like, I believe it was 1,200. Let me make sure I get this right because I want to make sure my point is accurate. You got to be accurate when you make points, people. Almost 1,300 yards. He was also top 10 in touchdowns. So I like Drake London as number 5. Now that's my crazy one.
Damn.
It's my pretty crazy one.
You know what I'm going to use this as an opportunity for?
Ceedee Lamb hate?
No, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to say he's going to stay in the top 5 because him and Michael Penix Jr. are going to go off this year in Atlanta. This is Michael Penix Jr. This is a pro Michael Penix Jr. rant that I would go on. So,
yeah.
But I mean, especially with the Kirk Cousins not playing well and Drake London still putting up numbers there for a while. And then obviously Penix comes in and he was balling out at the end of last year. So
I like Drake London as my number 5. Number 4 is kind of because I put his quarterback in the top 5 at number 5 in our quarterback rankings. T-Mac, Scary Terry. Scary Terry is my number 4 wide receiver. He was 1st in contested catch, 1st in rating when targeted. He is 8th in first downs, 2nd in touchdowns. He was the best contested catch wide receiver in the NFL, minimum 100 targets. And we all just said he had a good year. Scary Terry, and you gave him an honorable mention, so it's not too much of a reach. You can't look at me like it's too much of a reach.
I had him at 10.
4.
He was at 10.
You have him at 4.
Yeah, I had him at 10.
You have him at 10. I'm a big Scary Terry fan.
I
can have a bias too.
I love him.
I can have some bias. All right.
Clearly.
Number 3, and I struggle with number 3 because Amon-Ra St. Brown has absolutely played out of his mind, but I can't in good conscience put him above Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. I just can't. I want to put him above one of them, but how can I put him above Justin Jefferson after the seasons Justin Jefferson's had, even if Amon-Ra St. Brown did have a better year? And I can't put him above Jamar Chase because Jamar Chase literally won the Triple Crown and has shown really good seasons as well. So as good as Amon-Ra St. Brown was, he's number 3 for me. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. It is tough for a slot wide receiver to make a list. Number 2, and this is the one I flipped a coin on it. I'm not going to lie. I like both of these guys. I think they're both very dominant. I think if you switch them for their teams, I think their careers go almost identical because of how good they are. But Jamar Chase is number 2. Jamar Chase is number 2. The Triple Crown winner heading in there is number 2. I actually have Justin Jefferson number 1, and I think Justin Jefferson wins the Triple Crown in 2025 because I think J.J. McCarthy is the answer in Minnesota.
Wow.
I am going to go that far. He takes care of the football. He makes smart decisions, and he doesn't turn the football over. J.J. McCarthy is a winner. I think Justin Jefferson is going to get that quarterback that helps him reach ungodly talent level. I like J.J. McCarthy in a Minnesota Vikings uniform, and Justin Jefferson, because of that, is and remains to be the number 1 wide receiver heading into 2025.
Listen,
I know my 5 and 4 are the arguments. I get it. I understand.
They are.
I'm okay with it being an argument. I like those guys.
I want to know why A.J. Brown is outside of your top 5, please.
A.J. Brown, to me, I like the things he does, but I don't see his impact like I saw from some of these other guys. I don't think A.J. Brown as impactful on an Eagles offense as some of these other guys are. And to that point, that's why he was shopped a lot in the offseason and during the season last year up to the trade deadline, and has continued to be shopped in connection with multiple teams.
Well, I mean, Terry's kind of getting shopped right now, isn't he?
Yeah, but contract disputes. He wants more money, and he's 30. He's 29.
Yeah, isn't that exactly what's happening with AJ Brown? AJ Brown got extended eventually, so they've solved it with AJ Brown. They're like, you know what, AJ Brown, you're a top 3 receiver. We're going to go.
Still got shopped a little bit. He still got rumored to be shopped a little bit, but I love AJ Brown. I just think, to your point, Sam, I think that if he was on a better team, I would have probably a better opinion of him. But when you have he should win more one-on-ones and do things a little bit more for the amount of talent that's on that team than I really see from him.
I understand the point, your point. I just don't see how you look at the seasons that AJ Brown has had in his career, and when you compare that to what a guy like Terry McLaurin has done, and Terry McLaurin, credit to him, he's stuck it out in a Commanders
consistent
franchise.
Too.
He's very consistent, and I reward that. But so has AJ Brown. AJ Brown, if he's not hurt, he's performing. He's not just performing. He's a top. This is a guy that was like up there with was in a race for the receiving crown with Tyreek Hill in a year where Tyreek Hill thought he was going to hit 2,000 receiving yards. Like that's, in my opinion, I think you just like AJ Brown's style more. I think that makes a lot. If that's the case, I understand. But it's not.
My also point is we were talking about AJ Brown right now. AJ Brown in Tennessee, I get it. Terry McLaurin has played with mediocrity his entire career and has absolutely balled the fuck out. He gets a good quarterback, and we see him reach a level that we expected from him. I'm a big Scary Terry fan. I'm putting him in
what's
my
the level though?
The level that he scored way more touchdowns. That's the level that he took into his game. But
he had more contested catches. He had 24 contested catches.
Yeah, I mean,
AJ Brown had 25 opportunities to catch.
Well, I think that has
a lot to do with the fact that the
Eagles have but who had the higher percentage? Who had the higher percentage of
that's fair.
catches?
That's a fair assessment to make. But when you have
who had the best rating when targeted?
Who had the best rating was it Terry? Yeah. Well, again, that kind of speaks to the quality of passer that you're getting. And obviously, I think Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback, but I think Jaden Daniels is a better pure passer than Jalen Hurts.
True, but rating is on catches and receptions and touchdowns and first downs, those sorts of things, yards. All that comes into play. You have to catch the football to get that.
I don't think AJ Brown has had a great thrower of the football.
He hasn't
in his entire career. And there are years where he's had, and Jalen, and this kind of speaks to how good
I didn't say he was like 12 guys. He's 6. Like what the fuck?
Hold on.
Over Terry though.
Over
Terry
and
Drake,
McLaurin,
and even Drake,
and even Drake London. We could talk about Drake London too, but Terry McLaurin seems a little bit more egregious because his leap that you're speaking of, it's 1,096 yards, 13 touchdowns, and that's not a bad
yards
year.
Are down.
But let's say Jameson Williams from Detroit has that year. Are we talking about him the same way? With the likes of like, I know Jameson Williams isn't having those like seasons.
Jameson Williams had 1,000 yards.
He had a great. He had a great year last year. Jameson Williams had 53 catches and 1,000 yards.
58 catches, 65.9% receiving percentage, 1,001 yards, 17.3 per 7 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? Like if he gets 3 more touchdowns and has 101, if he plays one more game, he has a better year receiving yards wise than a guy like Terry McLaurin. And that's not to say that Jameson Williams is a better receiver at all. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying that I think Terry McLaurin's impact, I think you're over exaggerating it a bit is my point. In my opinion, I think you're over exaggerating it. Real quick,
I do to Sammy's point about that he made on this episode and a previous episode. We do need to reward consistency. Terry is anywhere between 77 over the last half decade, anywhere between 77 to 87 catches, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,100 yards. But before this year, it was anywhere between 4 or 5 touchdowns, basically. So again, he was dealing with bad quarterback play and still putting up those numbers. So he deserves credit for that. But again, he gets the great quarterback that we all think Jaden Daniels is, and those numbers besides the touchdowns basically stayed the same. That's where I'm in that's where I see more of Sammy's point, where it's like, he's still a great receiver. Like I think any of us would be happy to have Terry McLaurin on our team, especially because Terry McLaurin seems like a no drama type guy. AJ Brown gives you a little more drama, and Ceedee Lamb gives you a little bit more drama, and so does Jamar Chase, but again, when the production outweighs the drama as much as I think it does with the other guys, I'm choosing the other guys over Terry McLaurin. That's just where I'm at.
I mean, I can get behind it.
Yeah. And then I know for me, there was a lot of guys who even from the 11 to 15 range, I was like, damn, these guys could you could make an argument for these guys top 5 if you really wanted to. Receiver right now in the NFL is deeper than than it's ever been. Like, everybody's got a really, really good receiver. You got some of the old guys who, like Devontae Adams, who, you could still make a top 5 argument for Devontae Adams. Tyreek Hill could still make a top 5 argument for him. Maybe not Diggs as much, just because he's coming off that major injury. But, Stephon Diggs was in top 5 consideration last year, probably, so there is a lot of really good receivers in the NFL right now. We want you guys to comment your top 5 down below and tell us what we got wrong in the comments as well.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.